Hey guys, I'm Alan Zirkle with Mr. Z's Music Lessons, and today we're going to be doing a lead guitar tutorial over the song Who You Say I Am by Hillsong Worship. And in the description of the video there's a link to a tab that I made, and there's also links to the original song and a cover of me playing through the whole thing if you want to check any of those things out. So let's jump into the lesson. So this song is in 6/8, so each measure will be 6 beats, and also you'll need a capo on the 2nd fret. And if you don't have a capo, just check the description of the video. I have a link to the kind of capos that I like to use, so you can just check that out, pick one up if you need one. And so with that capo on the 2nd fret, we're in the key of F sharp here. And for verse 1, our first chord that we're going to play like an E chord. And with the capo on there, it would, it sounds like an F sharp, so it's actually an F sharp, but you're playing an E chord shape. So it'll be your first finger on the 1st fret of the G string, 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the A string, and then your 3rd finger on the 2nd fret of the D string. And if you have a volume pedal, you can just swell in here, just strum all the strings and swell in. If you don't have a volume pedal, I guess you could use your volume on your guitar. That would probably work just fine. And then after you do that swell, for the main riff during the verses, I leave my 1st finger just planted on the 1st fret of the G string. And then anytime I play the 2nd fret of the D string, I use my 2nd finger. And then anytime I play the 4th fret of the A string, I'm going to use my pinky. And then anytime I play the 2nd fret of the A string, I'll use my 2nd finger. So I'm using those 3 fingers through this whole thing. And I'm just going to play through verse 1 pretty slowly, and there'll be a tab on the screen that you can follow along with that will hopefully help you with this. So here we go. Notice at the very end there that we break from the pattern, and instead of playing the 1st fret on the G string twice, we only play it once. And then we go back to the A string, and then we play it again. So a slightly different pattern there. So that's it for verse 1. You just keep that 1st finger planted and then move the 2nd and 4th finger around. Use that tab to help you figure out exactly what fret to play. So that's it for that part. Then for chorus 1, we're going to be playing some chords, just strumming through, and we'll play these still unclean, so don't use any drive quite yet. And for our F sharp chord, we're going to play, and all these fret numbers that I'm going to say are relative to where the capo is, so just keep that in mind. So we're going to play, for our F sharp chord, we'll play the 7th fret of the A string, then the 9th fret of the D string with the 3rd finger, and then the 9th fret of the G string with the 4th finger. And we're just going to strum this once, strum all the strings. Then for our C sharp chord, we're going to play the 7th fret of the E string, 9th fret of the A string, then the 9th fret of the D string, and then the 8th fret of the G string. And then same thing here, we'll just strum all the strings. Then for our D sharp minor chord, we're going to play a little bit different pattern here. So we're going to play the 9th fret of the E string with the 2nd finger, and then the 7th fret of the A string with the 1st finger, the 9th fret of the D string with the 3rd finger, and then finally the 9th fret of the G string with the 4th finger. And for this, you can go ahead and strum all the strings again. Back to that sheet, that C sharp that we played, 7, 9, 9, and 8. And then for the last B chord, we can play the 7th fret of the D string with the 1st finger, and then the 9th fret of the G string, either with the 3rd or 4th finger, doesn't matter too much, and you just play from the A string down. Alright, so let me play through just this chord part for you. So it goes. chords, and then right after that you're going to jump into this lead riff. And here's where I'd probably go ahead and turn on just a little bit of kind of a light drive, and then pretty much from here through the rest of the song you can just leave that drive on, except for probably the instrumental part. So we're going to be on the 12th fret of the E string, and I use my 4th finger here. And I'm pretty much going to be in kind of the position where I have sort of my 4 fingers lined up on those frets, so 9, 10, 11, 12. And then you'll play 12th fret of the E string, 12th fret of the B string, 10th fret of the B string, 9th fret of the B string, 10th fret of the B string, and then 12th fret of the B string. Okay, and you'll do that same thing twice, so it'll sound like. So let me go ahead and play through the entire chorus once for you. So that's the chorus played slowly. Whenever you're playing along with the actual song, you'll have to speed that up. And I think that's it for chorus 1. Then let's go over verse 2. In this part, the rhythm of this is very similar to what you did on verse 1, except it's going to be higher up on the neck here. So we're going to start out on the 9th fret of the G string with the 1st finger, and then the 9th fret of the B string with the 2nd finger. And you can go ahead and leave your drive on from earlier, since at this point the song's kind of building. So I'm just going to play through this pretty slowly, just so you can follow along with it. So it goes. That's it for verse 2. I think the hardest part about that is just figuring out exactly what fingers to use just to make it sound as good as possible. Alright, but that's it for that part. Then the second chorus is a little bit different than the first one, and it's kind of similar to what we did during verse 2. It starts out the same. So we're going to start out on the 9th fret of the G string, and this time I would recommend using the 2nd finger for that, and then the 9th fret of the B string with the 3rd finger. The reason is because we're going to have to slide down, and if that 2nd finger is already on that G string, it just makes the movements a little bit easier. So I'll just play through this really slowly for you one time. So it goes. So you'll play that progression twice, and then on the second time, that very last 12th fret, you're going to play it 2 times, so you'll go. And also, just let me explain that hammer on for a second where it says 8H9. So you're going to hit the 8th fret, you'll pick that, and then with your 3rd finger, just push that down pretty hard on the 9th fret, and then I'll give you that hammer on. So hopefully that helps you with chorus 2. Then for the bridge, we're going to be playing octaves here, and still leave that drive on. This part's pretty loud. So we're going to play the 7th fret of the A string with the 1st finger, and then I use my 4th finger to play the 9th fret of the G string, and we're just going to kind of stay on these 2 strings, and we'll sort of move around. So starting on those 2 frets, the 7th and the 9th, and we're going to strum that for 1 full measure. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we're going to move up 2 frets to 9 and 11, and we're going to play that also for 1 measure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 13. And this one we're only going to play 4 times, and then on beat 5 we're going to move up 1 fret. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there we're moving from the 11th and 13th to the 12th and 14th frets up to the 14th and 16th frets. These numbers get a little confusing when they're relative to the capo, so I may have to play that a few times to figure it out. So that part again was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then on the 14th and 16th fret, we're going to play that for one more measure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let me go ahead and play through this bridge one time for you slowly. Keep repeating that part for the bridge, and then at the end of the bridge where you have this little tag thing, you're going to go from the 7th and 9th frets, and you'll play it for half of a measure, so three beats. 1, 2, 3. We're going to slide up to 14 and 16, also for 3 beats. 4, 5, 6. And then we're going to come back down to 12 and 14, and we'll play that for one full measure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that tag part was. So that's it for the bridge. And then later on in the song, whenever you play the bridge again, it's basically that exact same thing. The instrumental in this song is very repetitive. Basically, you're just playing this same riff over and over again. So I just want to talk about kind of what fingers to use for this. So I'm using my 2nd finger on the 7th fret of the A string, and then I'll have my 1st finger on the 6th fret of the D string, and I'll pretty much leave those 2 fingers down the entire time. And then the 3rd finger on the 7th fret of the D string, this one I'm going to kind of pick it up every once in a while whenever I have to go from 7 to 6 on that D string. So I'm going to play through this part really slowly, and this is just on clean again. So it goes. So you'll just have to speed that up, and it plays that a lot. It's like 12 times or something like that. So you just repeat it a whole bunch, and then right after that you'll go back into the bridge with those octaves again. And I think that's it for this lesson. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope it helped you learn this song. It's a really, really fun song to play and has awesome lyrics, so it's just a great song. So I'll see you guys in the next video.